What's going on, guys? It's Devin here at Cover 3 Media. Today, I'm bringing you a little breakdown on some Dynasty receivers here in fantasy football. I'm going to tell you what I think you should do with them and just a little insight on them and, maybe not to give up so far and, hold your horses a little bit. Before we dive in, guys, let's hit that intro, hi? Alright guys, first guy I want to dive into is Ceedee Lamb of the Dallas Cowboys. He's in his third year now, 23 years old, and it's time for him to step up to be that true number one receiver alpha on a Dallas Cowboy team. First week was very disappointing. 2 catches for 29 yards on Sunday Night Football. 11 targets, so was a good sign. Dak goes down with an injury. A lot of people panicking, including myself. But you just got to let things play out sometimes, and talent sometimes will win. Cooper Rush comes in week 2. Lamb had a good week with him last year when Rush had that Halloween start against the Vikings. Lamb had a solid game. 7 catches on 11 targets for 75 yards. Nothing crazy, but a solid performance that fantasy managers have to be happy with. And now this past week on Monday Night Football in week 3, he had 8 catches for 12 yards, 87 yards, and that one-handed touchdown catch, that was awesome to see. But we all know, if anybody didn't see it, he dropped a pass that would have been a possibly 40 to 50-yard touchdown with no one even breathing on him. He's had his drop issues, in the first 3 years of his NFL, and that's going to happen. I'm a Packers fan, and Devontae Adams, people wanted to write him off early in his career. So many drops, and now he's, the best receiver in the league, arguably. One of the best. And Ceedee Lamb's, people are questioning if he's going to be able to step up and be a true number one alpha. The Cowboys trade away Amari Cooper because they believe that Lamb can do that. Obviously, save some money too. And I do think he will. I think he has all the intangibles and tools to get it done, guys. He is a beast. He has shown he can have huge games. I'm just a little bit worried on with Dak. What's it going to look like with Dak back? You would think it would help, but time will tell. In Dynasty, there's just no reason for me to be trading Ceedee Lamb. If you want to go buy low, if someone's getting sick and tired of it and want even bigger performances, even though he's been pretty solid so far the last 2 weeks, go out and get him. I think this is the lowest certain guys are going to be in Dynasty right now after some, quiet weeks like Jefferson and Chase and stuff, guys like that. And Lamb's below them in my opinion. I think, for him to be in that conversation with them, he needs to put up a crazy season, and he can do that. He's getting the targets that we like to see in the Dallas Cowboys offense. Now, let's break down a few things with Ceedee Lamb. His air yards, 356 air yards, 4th in NFL, but almost 119 per game. That's very good. Air yards are the total distance traveled by all intended targets. So that means he's getting out there, getting involved, running a lot of routes, and, he's got 11, 11, and 12 targets. That's crazy. Number 3 most targets in the NFL. We like guys that are getting a lot of targets. It's more opportunities to make plays. And let's hope Ceedee Lamb can make more plays. I just think also, guys, the rest of the receivers around him haven't been anything to, be happy about. We've had Noah Brown out there being decent. Jalen Tolbert hasn't looked very well at all. But Michael Gallup and James Washington are on their way back. I think that's going to help Lamb get less attention. But Lamb does need to prove that he is an alpha receiver, and I think he will. I think he knows what has to be done, especially if he wants that big contract coming down the road. He's got to put together a big season and prove why the Cowboys were smart in drafting him in that first round when they already had Amari and Gallup, and why they were smart for getting rid of Amari, because Amari's doing pretty good this season still, but he's a lot older. Lamb is 23, so we have patience with Lamb. Lamb, his expected fantasy points per game is 18.7 right now. He's only been averaging 14.2 right now. So we should be expecting more out of him. That drop ball could have had a monster game for Lamb. He got to stay in your lineups in any league. In Dynasty, just keep him, guys. You have to be invested in this guy. Most receivers don't reach their prime, until 25-ish. And Lamb's 23, but, he has a lot of pressure on him to be good, and I think time will tell. So be patient with Lamb, and, talent's going to come through. And he's getting the targets. They want him to be the number one receiver, and he's got to put everything together and do it. And I think he has all the tools to do it. Looking at his player profiler, and it's just crazy to me that his comparison with Jerry Rice. That's just nuts to me. I know some of those are a little far-fetched sometimes, but Jerry Rice, if he can be anything close to that in his long career, hopefully, I'll be happy as a Dynasty owner. Especially when I took him 3rd coming out of Oklahoma. I just loved what I saw, and I think we're still going to love what we're going to see down the road and the rest of the season. So, continue to play Lamb, continue to not trade him, keep him on your team, and I think it will be you'll be happy to see it. There was a lot of times when some tight catches he made, but then there's some tight coverage. He's not really getting separation, which is a little concerning. But I think he's just got to continue to play and improve, and he's going to. And he's got to fix the drops, and it's gonna happen here and there, guys. Sometimes drop stuff randomly, but he's had a tendency to drop a lot of passes in his career so far, but he's early. He's a youngster still, and I'm hoping that he can really get on the scene towards the end of the season. Hopefully not this week against Washington even. Now, that's all I'm going to talk about with Lamb, guys. Now I want to talk about DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf, 24 years old, going to his 4th year. It's been a rough season without Dangerous with Geno Smith now. First game, he's getting the targets. He got seven catches on 7 targets in week 1, but only for 36 yards. Ugh, that's disgusting. And then week 2, he had 4 catches on 6 targets and 35 yards. Still just terrible, even worse. And then this last week, got 12 targets, which you like to see, 5 catches, 64 yards, and a touchdown, where he made a spectacular catch in the end zone. DK Metcalf, we all know how talented he is. So this is my opinion on him in Dynasty. I just traded low for him, and because I'm willing to have patience. We always talk about patience. I'm going to keep saying it because you have to be patient. You can't just panic on guys right away, especially in Dynasty leagues, because it's not all about one season. You want to, be invested short-term and long-term, whatever strategy you're trying to play. Right now, DK's playing with Geno Smith. It's not good. DK's 24, and he's got a good amount of years left of, I think, successful seasons and dominant seasons. We know how big of a physical specimen he is and how dominant he can be, getting some crazy catches one-on-one and, in the end zone. So the good sign so far with DK this year is he's gotten 5 red zone targets, only caught 1 so far, but that's 9th in the NFL. So they really do want to get him touchdowns, and he is the focal part of the offense, and I hope he gets more involved. It's just going to be tough with Geno Smith. Maybe, I think Geno Smith might be better than Locke, but Locke might help him out even more, just spreading the ball out more and getting more targets at DK. But besides that, his air yards, 233, not terrible, 28th, but we should be expecting more of that. DK, I just don't think he's going to have a great season all year this year, guys. I think he's always going to be a solid wide receiver 3, but it's Dynasty. You got to think of long term. I just traded for him in a Dynasty league. So I got DK. I traded 2024 first. We're not Superflex yet in that league, but we are going to Superflex in 2024. So that pick, could be very valuable. And then we do IDP, which is individual defense players. I think it's going to be the next wave of fantasy football. It makes it more entertaining, so you don't have to rely just on offense. It's really fun. Check out here on our YouTube. We have a channel that we did in the summer that we talked about IDP, our rankings, and why we think you should really do it. So check that out. But I traded away some IDP guys, so it's going to maybe not really get you to understand the value of what I gave up. But I gave up Patrick Queen, linebacker on the Ravens, young guy, pretty good. DB on the Dolphins, Brandon Jones, solid young guy too. And then I gave up that 2024 first, like I said, and the 3rd and 4th as well. That whatever. I just personally, and I got Harrison Smith with DK. Harrison Smith safety on the Vikings. I just personally think it's the lowest DK is ever going to be available for, because I think people are going to just go off his name value, and that's kind of what I did because I wanted him, and I know what he can be and what he has shown he can be. Had 2 really solid seasons for fantasy the last 2 years, and I just like guys that I know can be dominant and get those targets and just dominate his opponents, and that's what we see in DK. He's a fucking beast. Pardon my French, but he's a beast. He's a beast, and I want to have that on my team. I have the flexibility that I don't really need to play him if he's going to be struggling this season, but I just want to see some progression. I want to still see him have those big games here and there, and I'm just hoping that, Seattle I don't think will be very good this season, and I'm just hoping they can get their hands on a rookie quarterback that just gets a dominant connection with DK. Could you imagine if DK gets CJ Stroud? It's over. I'll be so happy. It'll be such worth the investment. So do what you think with DK Metcalf. If you want to go buy low on him and you think you have the flexibility that you don't need to be starting him every week if you have other options, then do it. If you're kind of in win now mode and you don't really going to get him, he's going to be a starter for you. I understand why you wouldn't want to do it, but just remember, if they do draft a rookie quarterback and they do have a good connection, this is the lowest you'll ever get DK for. So keep that in mind, but I still have a lot of confidence in DK long term. Maybe not this year, but long term. I really like him still. Now, the last receiver I want to touch on here in this video for Dynasty on what I'm thinking about them is Elijah Moore of the New York Jets. Second-year receiver, 22 years old. He's had a not very good season so far either. First game, 7 targets, 5 catches, 49 yards. Second game, 3 catches on 5 targets, 41 yards. And then last week, got 9 targets, 4 catches, 49 yards. So he's getting the theme of about 3 to 5 catches with about 45 yards every game. And we want more out of Elijah Moore. There's a new guy in town named Garrett Wilson who looks like he's going to be a very good receiver in the NFL and has more talent than Elijah Moore. I mean, it's pretty obvious. But I think Elijah Moore still can be a very good dynasty receiver to own. It's another guy I would buy low on. I think I saw enough last year how talented the guy is, and in the slot he can be a beast. I just don't know about the quarterback situation. That's the only thing that really hold me back. So Joe Flacco was in, the first 3 games. Now Zach Wilson's back. And we'll see how it looks with Zach Wilson under the helm with that connection with Elijah Moore and Garrett Wilson. I'd rather have Garrett Wilson in Dynasty, no doubt about it, but Elijah Moore, I still think people are undervaluing him a little bit. Let's say this first thing. His air yards. 304, 101 a game. Pretty good. He's running a lot of routes. Total distance traveled, like I said. He's getting involved. He's out there. Now, routes run. This is what I want you to know. And I know this is a little skewed because the Jets have been passing the ball out with Joe Flacco, and that's definitely going to go down, so keep that in mind. But again, this shows how much they want Elijah Moore involved and how much he's going to play and get those opportunities to produce big fantasy games for you right now and hopefully long term. We don't know if Zach Wilson will still be there long term, but Elijah Moore, I think, is talented enough to overcome that. It's been tough the first few weeks, but it's only been 3 weeks. Elijah Moore has ran 147 routes. 49 a game. That's number 1 in the NFL of routes run. He's getting the opportunity, and he's not capitalizing on it, but he's getting the opportunity, and I think it will come into fruition. I like Elijah Moore's talent. I don't have him ranked, a top 15 dynasty receiver. I would say more 25-ish. But I think the opportunity right now to buy low is because I think he could have a pretty good game here against the Steelers with Zach Wilson back. I think the time right now is to buy him before he has some big weeks and starts to show what's up. So that's the 3 receivers. Ceedee Lamb, hold him if you have him. DK, go buy low on him, and Elijah Moore, go buy low on him. If you have questions on what you think you should give up, or what maybe the guy you're trading to or girl, there's girls that play fantasy football too, which is awesome. The guy or girl that you were offering to, or what they want in return, let me know. Let us know here at Cover 3 Media what they're thinking, and I'll give them my honest opinion. So I just want to do a dynasty breakdown on these receivers, guys. I hope you got some useful information out of this. If not, sorry for wasting your time. But since you already made it this far in the video, if you could give a like, we'd really appreciate it here at Cover 3 Media, and give us a subscribe here on YouTube. We're also on TikTok and Instagram at Cover 3 Media. We're posting on there every day. We got Adam, Christian, and myself making predictions, giving advice, anything you can think of for fantasy football. We're really trying to grow a community here and want to help you guys because we feel like we all have a lot of good fantasy football knowledge. We're younger guys, but we've had a lot of experience in playing it for years. And we've won, we've lost, we've seen it all through. And again, it's been a weird year, so I think still, certain running back stuff, things will fill out. But I appreciate you guys watching, guys. Any questions, let us know. Week 4 is about to get in full slate on Sunday here. So appreciate you guys. Ceedee Lamb hold, DK buy low, Elijah Moore buy low, and be patient. That's the key. Have a good night or day, whatever you're feeling. See you guys.